Hey, how are you? It's Pastor Larry, and I have something on my mind that I would love to share with you. I want to ask you the question. Have you ever had a challenge trying to understand the spiritual component to your job and the work that you do outside of the church? Well, if you have this time to be with me and to talk with me for a moment, I want you to think about it. Think about when you read the Bible, how you'll meet a lot of people that God used who didn't have Christian jobs. Nehemiah was a city planner, and Esther was a powerful woman in a political world. God used them both. And so I wanted to share with you some thoughts about this subject because, after all, we spend way more time at work than we do at church. But so many of us are miserable in our jobs. We view them as a means to an end. It's something we get through so we can get what we want. We want to get, the weekend. We want to get retirement. We want to get to the bonus. But let me start at the beginning. In the beginning, God worked. Check this out. He worked. The Bible begins talking about work as soon as it begins talking about anything. This is how important and basic it is. Work was not an evil that came into the picture. God planned for humans to always be involved in working, living in the constant cycle of work and also living in the constant cycle of rest, work and rest. God made the world to need work. While God created other forms of life, only humans are explicitly given a job. We're called to stand in for God here in this world, exercising stewardship over the rest of the creation. The Bible sees all work as distinguishing human beings from animals and elevating them to a place of dignity. In Genesis, God is a gardener. In the New Testament, he's a carpenter. God made it our job to develop and build this society. We're not just here to take up space. We're here to cultivate the garden. In 1 Corinthians 7, Paul counsels readers that when they become Christians, it is unnecessary to change what they're currently doing in life in order to live lives that please God. In other words, you don't have to quit your job and become a missionary to make a difference. You can be a missionary on your job. You can be a missionary right there. So how should we connect work to worship? How we view work and how we do our work matters more than you might imagine. Jesus spent the majority of his life as a carpenter, not a rabbi. He spent more time making tables than walking on water. Jesus knew that it was good to get up and to work every single day. Working with his hands was not beneath him. Check out this quote from Dorothy Sayers. The quote says this. It says, "The church's approach to an intelligent carpenter is usually confined to moral instruction and church attendance. What the church should be telling him is this, that the very first demand that his religion made upon him is that he should make good tables." The Apostle Paul said it this way. He said, "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ," found in Colossians 3:23 through 24. So work is not just about economic exchange, making money, or getting the dream. It's about God honoring human creativity and contribution. Martin Luther King Jr. said it this way. He said, "If it fails to your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep the streets like Michelangelo painted the pictures, like Shakespeare wrote poetry, like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, 'Here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well.'" What's my message to you? It's that your job is important in this world, and if you use it for the good of the kingdom, don't ever think that you can't make a difference at work, because you most certainly can. So tomorrow, go to work with God in mind. Go with a divine perspective and understand that God has you there for a reason, and that wherever you are a minister of the gospel. And also check this out. If you want to read more on this subject, check out my book, The Secret to Your Success. You can gain access to it by going to LarryMaconJr.com. Thank you so much for listening in. And I just wanted to bless some people and let you know that what you do matters and how you do it matters. Whatever you do, do it for the kingdom. Have a great day at work tomorrow.